Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Sethum and welcome back to another video guide for Ark Survival Evolved. Today in this video, folks, I'm going to show you how to tame a Parasaur. Now the Parasaur is of course one of the starting dinos in Ark, but it also has several uses even later on in the game, which I will show later in this video. So obviously, as I said, this is a starting dino. It is a knockout tame, meaning that you will have to knock it out and then feed it its preferred food. Now let's get into what you will need. So you will need a saddle in order to ride it, and in terms of food it prefers the basic kibble, but if you don't have that, that's fine. You can always go with the meho berries or any berries in general. However, do bear in mind that if you go for the berries, you will probably need some narcotics or narco berries with you. In order to ride it, as I said, you will need a saddle, and you can learn that at level 9. It'll cost you a total of 9 engram points, and this is what you need to craft it, so not that difficult to craft at all. It is a mount that you can ride, or a dino that you can mount and ride, and so before you even start deciding to tame anything, do make sure that the area around you is clear of any possible threats. The Parasaur does have quite a few enemies, and as I can see right there, there's a Ichthyornis that could potentially complicate the situation. Now I'm going to go for a 150, but I'm going to have to sort that guy out before we even get into it. Also, you will require some bolas. I do recommend using bolas. They're quite easy to craft as well, and they will help a lot, as you will see in a bit once I get rid of this guy. Now the trouble with him is I have to make guesses as to where he's going to be. Kind of like that. Alright, let's find my Parasaur. This one is 130. Don't want that guy. There we go. This is my target right here. Once you hit a Parasaur, the other ones will want to run away. So just bolo it like I did here. Then take out your trank and start knocking it out. Now you can use both the trank arrows with the crossbow or the trank darts with the long neck rifle. Now notice I am going for headshots, and that is because the long neck rifle and the trank darts don't do that much damage. You can also use other forms of knocking it out, such as, I don't know, potentially a club or a slingshot, but do bear in mind that the bolo will eventually be broken and it will run off, regardless if it has high torpor or not. Once it's down, you can wait for it to starve out. For this, I do recommend using Dodo Dex. It's an amazing app that you can find both for Android and iOS devices. It will help you with taming. It'll tell you what each dino needs in terms of taming and how long it takes, as well as how many narcotics and tranks you'll need. Once it's down, put the food in its inventory and wait it out. When it is hungry, it will eat one of those kibbles, and you will gain, as you see right here, a bit on the taming bar. Now, kibble does give it a better taming effectiveness, and from this point forth, it's just a thing of guarding your potential tame. Now, things may spawn and creep up on you, so that is something to keep in mind at all times. Always be on your guard. If it does get hit by something whilst it is taming, it will lose taming effectiveness, meaning that it will lose levels, and through losing levels, of course, it will lose some stats, so that is quite important to keep in mind. When the Parasaur is ready to be tamed, it will pretty much give you a notification and it will stand up. As I said, this is a rideable mount, and it is pretty decent as well. I'll show you why I like this creature, especially for PvP. Let's put the saddle on. Now on the right click on computer, it has a little ping, as I call it, and it pretty much tells you where all of your enemies will be. Now you can set this guy up in a base and it will continuously ping and show you the location of enemies, so that is pretty decent. As you can see, there's an Oviraptor right there. It only shows its last location, so if it does move, as you can see, it will not always show it. But it is still a very useful creature. Now when it is in your base and you set it to do that, automatically it will consume more food. It can also, of course, gather berries and stuff like that, but it does not gather very well, so very important. Also, it has a very small AoE in front of it where it will gather. As you can see, if you're not on top of it, it will not gather. A fairly decent mount to start out with, very useful in the game, both in the beginning as well as later on, especially if you are playing on PvP servers. This creature is pretty darn amazing. So behind the rock there's a creature right there, and that's pretty much what this thing does. It's pretty decent. I actually quite personally like it, and it has quite good utility. It isn't necessarily fast, but it does also have a decent carry weight, so do keep that in mind when you are taming this. And as I said, worth getting one of these. Plus they will lay eggs, though. If you have a pair of these, you can always use the eggs for kibble. So just look at what's happening with the Oviraptor right here. So it showed its last location. Now I'm going to try and do something here. There you go. It pretty much shows its last location from the ping, even if the Oviraptor moves. So do keep that in mind. That is pretty much it for this video, folks. I do hope that you have enjoyed it and found it useful and informative. If you have, please don't forget to support me in the channel by hitting that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and haven't already for more similar content from myself. And if you have just subscribed, why not check out some of my other videos and guides here on this channel. Who knows, you might just enjoy them. Also, don't forget to hit that bell icon so that you get notified when I upload new videos and content to the channel. And of course, for those interested, you can always find me on the Sethtopia Discord. Links to this, of course, you can find down below in the video's description, as well as in a pinned comment from myself. Until next time, stay safe, folks.